So can you go to your oldest photo?
So much fear.
Okay.
I didn't even have an iPhone at the time. I had an iPad that I was pretending to be my iPhone.
It's really filtered, extremely filtered.
Does anyone have a not cringe oldest photo?
We were at a Def concert.
Here it is. It's my chinchilla.
It is a picture of a mug with no caption, the audacity.
I definitely used one of those filters. Shout out Valencia, she's cute.
Instagram defined personal storytelling in the 2010s. The app has become an everyday way for young people to share about their lives and connect. In its more positive moments, Instagram's been a place for people to keep in touch with their friends and fans and follow their idols. In its negative moments, the app has been widely criticized for its link to mental health issues. I spoke with Instagram's Elise Ramsey, a product marketing manager, and Ian Silber, a product design director, about a decade's worth of changes in the app's aesthetic and functionality, and what lies ahead as our archives expand. In the beginning of the decade when Instagram was first out, there was like the prototypical Instagram photo, which was very film, lo-fi, vintage. And it's so funny to look back on it and be like, why did I do that?
It's so dark.
Yeah. It wasn't even just Instagram, you know, that was just like a wide-ranging cultural thing.
Yeah.
Why do you think people gravitated towards making their digital images look super vintage?
Camera phones kind of sucked, but you know, they weren't great back then. You kind of wanted to cover it up. It's like you're sort of hiding the imperfections of the phone.
I think those were really the tools that had been put into the market at that time.
It's hard to believe the app was launched in 2010. On its first day alone, 25,000 people signed up. Now, in 2019, more than 1 billion users worldwide are on the platform. What would you say made Instagram so resilient?
I think one thing that has made Instagram so successful and really resonate with people is the fact that it's a communication tool. As how we use photos has changed, Instagram has really responded to that and helped people really express themselves and communicate with photos instead of just like perfect a single photo.
And I think also just like constant evolution. It started as like a single square photo, and now we have like so many more ways to express yourself, and things like stories are like very, very different than what Instagram was on day one.
I'm curious about the inception of stories. A lot of people think it's a ripoff of Snapchat. And so I'm curious to hear what inspired it from your perspective.
I think we've recognized that, you know, it was a format, and that we kind of saw that out in the market and we're like, wow, like that seems like something that could work really well on Instagram. People that had, you know, their friends and family and their followers were on Instagram, and they wanted a way to express themselves more freely, and they just didn't feel like feed was the place for that.
I think stories is a great example of how photos and videos are just kind of a new language for people, and I think stories responds to that.
There's a bunch of like unique things about stories, things like the fact that they're ephemeral and they go away.
We've even continued to build on that by introducing close friends.
Yes, I have a close friend story.
I'm gonna make a lot of people mad who are like, why am I not on your list? Yeah, I do have a close friends list. I just had such an internal battle of like who should be in it.
I think of them as just like low risk people.
I've been on people's close friends things before, and I'm like, oh, thanks for choosing me.
I think close friends almost even tempts me to be the self that I'm like afraid to be sometimes.
As people have gotten more comfortable with stories, we heard that people wanted to share even more authentic or personal moments with just a handful of people that they were closest to.
We're talking about control, which makes me think of the archiving ability. What do you think people are afraid of deleting? Is it the photo or the interactions?
I really like that question because we've thought about that a lot, and like we used to not have like the ability to just archive a post. You had to delete it. And again, this goes back to like talking to people and also our own feeling, but it's just like it felt really heavy to delete it. And like, why? I think a lot of it was like, oh, like my friends have commented on this, and there's kind of this like capsule, like time capsule sort of thing about a post. We'd see people were like screenshotting them before they delete it, so they had that kind of like package. Just giving the ability for people to archive it sort of meant that you could share but it didn't have to represent you and your identity for the rest of time. It gives you a little bit more flexibility.
I did archive like a bunch of photos the other day, mainly because I used to like having just like really funny, crazy captions, but now as a young adult, specifically a young professional, I realize there's a lot of stuff like I just couldn't have out there.
I feel like Instagram, you used to just kind of post anything, and now people are really like about having like a curated Instagram, and sometimes that makes me feel like I should go back and archive things that are really lame. Like this is just like a photo of a tapestry, and I put a cool filter on it, so I liked it then, and I like the color purple, so that's where I'm at with that.
I recently archived at the beginning of the year.
How was it?
It was great, and now I'm posting circle photos.
Oh my gosh, a whole new aesthetic.
It broke Instagram, almost like Jennifer Aniston did. Moving forward, it seems, especially this year, that the platform is taking steps to decrease some of the negative effects associated with social media as a whole, and then also specifically Instagram. In a 2017 survey of 1,500 young people from the UK, Instagram ranked as the worst social media platform for mental health and well-being. In a December 2019 piece for Vox, Rebecca Jennings says Instagram has warped our perception of reality. And though the platform has implemented new measures to combat bullying and to restrict promotional posts about dieting, Jennings says Instagram's entire existence is predicated on reminding people that other people are having more fun than they are. As of November 2019, Instagram has also been testing out whether hiding like counts will foster a more positive experience on the platform. Has anything been concluded from the tests that have been done so far?
Yeah, nothing to share so far. You know, we are committed to making Instagram a safe and supportive platform, and so we're constantly looking at things like this and looking at how our tools affect people's well-being. In particular, the experiment with making like counts private is something that we're excited about.
Instagram was a very fun place for me to be when I first started.
I honestly feel like one of the reasons I stopped posting photos of artsy things or, you know, like of the beach or like things that weren't of people was because I wasn't getting as much likes on them.
I think Instagram now is very showcasey. It's something that I can curate to make people think something about me.
So is Instagram going to be something that I show my kids, like my parents showed me photo albums?
I hope so.
When it theoretically gets to that point, how would Instagram deal with organization?
As you start to share more and more and you have, you know, years and years of content, like how do you sort and sift through that? And that's something that we need to start to think about, I think, as the platform sort of evolves and is around for longer and longer.
Well, and one of the things that we've introduced recently as a result of more people having archived photos and videos, archived stories even, is on this day. So instead of you having to have the idea of wanting to go back to a memory, we're starting to experiment with surfacing that for you and seeing if that's like kind of a delightful moment. So we might explore more things in that space as people have a larger library of memories.
What's your most recent photo on Instagram?
My most recent.
I was in Paris for my 25th birthday.
It's of me, which I honestly, it was rare for the past year.
Aren't I so cute? I added this to my Hinge.
This lovely picture of me in a mirror.
There were these cool like little podium things that people would stand on. Everyone was taking these photos, but you know, it's okay.
Your Instagram profile for a lot of people is the best representation of themselves online. It can change as you change, especially for young people. I mean, even for me, I'm not necessarily the same person year to year. And with Instagram and the profile, you have a little bit more control over that.